Hi, Amy Denney, founder of Shine Light Therapy and certified Holy Yoga and trauma sensitive Holy Yoga instructor. I believe we were all born to shine. However, sometimes life circumstances can dull our light. But with the right tools, resources, and encouragement, I think we can reverse that. Welcome to Made to Shine, a movement that is intended to help you shine your light a little brighter. So I am joining you just myself this week and wanted to share a little bit about my heart. So last year, I had someone very dear to me who would come to my yoga classes at the Y. And every time I would give a scripture for meditation in my classes, she would come up afterwards and ask for me to write it down for her. Sometimes I think on her hand. And then she would just be really excited about the scripture and how it made her feel. And she wanted more. She wanted to meditate on that scripture throughout the week. She wanted to dig in a little bit deeper. And she wanted some advice on other things she could do. And I really wasn't equipped or prepared to give her much of anything. But it occurred to me that so many times when I've done ministry work, that has been a problem that has just plagued me. So we would do events and then it was like, okay, well, now what? We didn't have anything to now what are people who would come to the events so that they could continue on their journey in their faith. So I really felt called by God to create some kind of tool so that what was happening on the yoga mat could continue to happen beyond the class. It could be an idea or a scripture that could impact the entire week, that you could kind of just dig your claws into that a little bit deeper. And I loved that idea. So that was where this was born. And I ended up publishing this journal called Moving Mountains, Seeking Solitude, Stillness, and Sanctity. It was really based off of just a concept to put together this worksheet for my students that gave them spaces to write down the scripture, to write down gratitude, a space for a prayer, some things that came out of the messaging, truths from the word, things that maybe God was calling them to do. So that's basically the backbone of this book. There are 7 sections on each page. And so in the journal, there are actually more than 7, but there are very short chapters that have some reflection questions that you can also do to kind of help you understand what my thinking was behind adding this on the page. And there's also a kind of a table of, or not a table of contents, I don't know what the right word is for it. It's like a index, not an index. Maybe I'll think of it. I don't know. But it basically is how to use your journal. So there's this section for notice, which is that place that you come in a yoga class where it's like, well, notice your breath. If you are coming with anything that's going to distract you from what you need to do in the next hour, can you emotionally just leave that at the door? So it might be a place where you could write, oh, I was really stressed at work and these things are bothering me, or I'm having a lot of pain because of a certain medical condition or an injury. So this place where we notice, we just kind of get all of that out. We just write out things that are going on. Maybe something about our relationship with the Lord. And then there's a place to write the scripture. There's a place for you to write about the message. So what is the message that is coming out of this particular scripture or this hour? It might have to do with the scripture. It might be completely unrelated. There's a space to maybe write some kind of truth that comes from this passage. So maybe it's just a phrase or something that kind of jumps out at you as, oh, this is God's truth that I need to kind of cling to from this particular passage. A space, like I said, to write out gratitude, a place to write a prayer, and a place that if God is calling you to respond in any certain way, you can document that. So that is what is on the journal page. And like I said, there's some other journaling activities in the beginning chapters. This is for sale on Amazon, and I will put the link underneath the video. And I also have a few copies that I have in my home that are more of a spiral bound printed copy that I'm glad to deliver to you if you want to purchase those. I believe they're $12 in either place. You would just have to pay for shipping on Amazon. So here is what I really wanted to share with you. I wrote the book. I used them in my classes a little bit, but I kind of put it on a shelf and really wasn't using it much myself at all. So I designed a retreat where I wanted to kind of test how it would work, and just to give people a little bit more depth and create some time, because if we aren't intentional about it and we don't grab that time to do the retreat and to actually seek the solitude, stillness, and sanctity of the Lord, sometimes we just don't do it, right? I mean, if we're honest, we have to pay for a retreat to be in silence. It's just, that's life sometimes. So I created this retreat, and I had a few women come. Sorry, somehow my phone is, or my computer is attached to my daughter's phone and it's dinging. Sorry about that. But anyway, several women came and I got really great feedback. A lot of them thought it could be a day-long retreat, but because of COVID restrictions and food and all of that, I did it in half a day. I am in the process of turning this content into a virtual retreat. I would love to know a couple of things. One, since you are here paying attention to me in this space, this YouTube space, I would love for you to partner with me as a beta tester and go through the online course before I push it out to the general public, and offer me your feedback and kind of let me know how things went, if anything needs to be tweaked or improved. And I'm going to probably go ahead and launch it and then do any tweaks afterwards. So I want to go ahead and get some beta testers going right away, but I also don't want, sometimes I've let that kind of step prevent me from even moving forward. So anybody who signs up for it, as soon as it's available, I should be able to roll it out here fairly soon. Will pay the same amount that my beta testers in the live retreat did, which is $20. Now, you don't have to purchase the journal, but I would love it if you did, because it kind of goes hand in hand with that, and it will just be a lot easier for you to go through the course. So if you purchase the journal, then I will knock that price down to $15. So please do let me know. And if you're interested in being a beta tester, I would just really appreciate having your feedback and your opinion about how this works. Now, I've seen a few virtual retreats out there. I don't know how this is going to work. I've been invited to a couple, and honestly, it's hard for me to find space in my home by myself, and I don't really know where else I would go. I feel like there's a need in this area. Like retreat centers could just open for day retreats for people on their grounds. I don't know. Because I know that silence in my world is very, very hard. I come to work at my shared office space in the evenings, which is where I am now, just so that I can record some of these videos, but I don't have space here to do yoga, so I couldn't move much. And there are only a couple of private rooms. So if I was out in the main space, it would be disruptive to other people for me to be doing a retreat or yoga or having audio or talking. So I know it's hard, and I would love to know if you have particular challenges in that area too, because I think that we do need to still create this space and have these retreats and have this self-care and have this personal development more than ever. And I think our schedules are so busy that we're finding that hard. And then just logistically, It's very difficult. A lot of times I will record my yoga classes with people in the house, and maybe you can tell, and maybe you can't. I just did my most recent class outside, and was concerned that some of the neighbor kids might see me and come up to ask me if my daughter could come and play with them. And then, of course, that didn't happen. But what did happen was some honking, which doesn't typically happen in my subdivision at all. And then my neighbors, right where I had my camera pointed, had just bought a brand new, really lovely RV, and they had tore down a tree yesterday on the side of their property so that they could bring it back and park it there. And so during of all the times during the yoga class, as I was teaching, you can see this RV slowly moving down behind the trees behind me, and so they can pull it in their driveway. But they must have heard me. They were very quiet and respectful the entire time, and it was just a slight interruption, but that's life. But we do still need this space, the quiet. We do need to be still and honor God and our obedience to create these rhythms of grace with Him. So if you are willing to try it, I think it would be interesting to walk through it and see if it's something that is even possible. And if you have interruptions, how you kind of work around that, so I can kind of build that into the course content. Each of these different chapters in the book have a 5-minute audio segment and a short journaling exercise. So it really is bite-sized chunks all the way through. There will be 2 different yoga videos. One will only be about maybe 12 minutes, and the other one will be a full class. So I think it will be manageable in segments. So that part of it is intriguing to me, that we could hold a retreat and maybe work on it a little bit every day for, several days. So if you're interested, let me know. I would love to include you and really push this out there for the world, because I think uh, more than anything, we need tools and encouragement for working on and through anxiety. So I hope to hear from you soon and partner with you in moving mountains.